Oh yeah, he brought more
Live
light.
yet.
Okay, thanks. I'll add some like smooth jazz or
We're recording now. Um, later. Good morning, ladies.
good
Good
Can y'all
morning.
see me?
morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Happy Saturday morning.
Mm, happy Saturday.
I know, right? What's the weather supposed to be like?
Right
80.
now it's bright and sunny
It's gonna
with a
get up.
chance of whatever it wants to do.
Supposed to get up to 80 today though.
Oh,
So that's nice.
well,
I like a nice like it doesn't have to be too hot, but I don't we don't need it too cold. Like this is just right how it is outside. It's a light breeze. So if you're walking and you're sweating, you're not like dying. It's really nice. It's nice
oh.
out there. I should have been outside instead of inside because it would have been a lot
I
better.
I
said the
know
same thing.
you and Charlotte could have been outside in the backyard.
I,
Yeah,
yeah, I said the same
there
thing.
you go.
That would
Yeah,
have
but
been
the
nice.
I don't know about you, Shiloh, but the way the birds are set up where I'm at, they are disrespectful.
Did it got you?
The absolute, and I'm terrified of birds. It would have been like,
But it
yeah,
would have been some nice. It would have been nice background sound.
Yeah, you
yes,
didn't
of
have
me
to go.
screaming, of me
You just have the
screaming.
birds.
That's the jazz. That's the smooth jazz. You would have gone like, ah, when I'm running away because those birds are coming for me. No, listen, I'm a city girl, right? I was born in Hoboken. I was raised in Union City, and the only birds that I ever saw were pigeons. And now I live in Union County, and I won't disclose where, but I'm in a suburb. And when I moved here and rabbits are in my backyard, I was like, they're coming for me. I don't know these people. I'm in their house. Oh, absolutely not. And
That's
when
those are the
possums
people.
and raccoons, and these are things that you see, you see them on TV, but
Ask
when you see
Charlotte what
these,
she wake up to. That be
oh,
at
I
home.
got some deer. Do you got some? Because they be chilling in the
Oh, the
backyard.
deer. Yeah, they the deers live in my backyard,
Oh, heck
but the
no.
but I listen to the fox and the coyote when it's mating season.
Oh, she said it real romantic. Like they be, well, over here, I listen to the murder, the sound of
I
murder,
have
because these
I have to
foxes
Google
be, mm-mm.
I have to Google to hear the sounds to see which animal it was that was making the noise so I could know if it was the fox or
Wait.
the coyote.
Shiloh said like this in the middle of the night with Shazam, just to see what it was that
Who
popped
was?
up, right? Just like
I
out the window,
I
like,
do I be
mm-mm.
like I go to YouTube and I'm like sounds that of a coyote mating, sounds of a fox mating, and then I get jealous. Be like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm a big hater.
I need to go where you go because the sounds of the foxes out here at night, it sounds like they just, it sounds like a whole murder mystery where you don't know
So
who's getting killed, but
so
somebody's dying.
Priscilla, so now that Charlotte
Whew.
just made you aware of what that is. So you probably think it's just that, but now
No,
you know it
no.
may be one of them mating.
It,
Yeah.
it, okay, so hear me out, ladies, because when mating sounds like like that, it does that. I don't. Well, you know
Yeah,
what? Maybe that's
that
how they
the
get
second
down.
sound you made, that's a fox.
See?
Yeah, yeah,
See?
but what's he doing? Is he or
Mating.
is he
No, they're mating. That's the
See?
only time they mate.
See?
whoever the recipient is not receiving it well? I'll
You
tell you
don't know.
that
Well, guess what?
because she's
A
screaming in a whole
Shiloh.
other way,
To them it's
or he.
good. To them it's good.
Well,
Reason
you
why
know what?
Shiloh is jealous is because she's single. So this goes into
Listen.
being single. We're single, right?
Uh
You're
huh.
married. So when she getting jealous, she don't have nobody to turn over to. Now that you know what that sound is, Priscilla,
Uh huh.
Join them. If
Listen, okay. So perhaps the animalistic sounds that I get, they're bear like. So they don't sound, I got a 6'2" husband. I'm only 4'11". So maybe I don't want to hear a fox. Maybe that's a little bit, not enough for me.
Well,
That's why I don't
if you don't
recognize
like
it,
if you don't like the way they sound, you make your own sound.
There
And
you
trust me,
go.
they hear it. Trust they hear it.
There you
They hear it.
go.
And
There
the
you
church,
go.
look, and the church next door sees all the hallelujahs and Jesuses I be throwing. So
So
they
that's so
got it.
funny.
That
So
is
so now
funny.
see Priscilla, so you learned something new.
I did. I'm today's years old that when I found out that I could go on YouTube and listen to the mating sounds of foxes
And now you
and
know what
see. So
what you be
now,
hearing.
but do
Now
you
you
realize?
understand it.
Now here's the thing. If I throw these noises out, right? Is that not calling the ones that are out here like, oh shoot, oh, what they doing over there? Now they coming here and Shiloh, I don't know what to tell you because if I see a fox come up the stairs to my house because they hear some YouTube noises, because I'll sit outside and I'll go on YouTube with my iPad
Oh,
and
they're
it's
gonna attack you.
d-
They're gonna attack you.
then forget it, it's over. Then I'm gonna have interspecies people coming for me. And I'm good. I'm
So
good
let,
with
let me
that.
ask Shiloh a question. Shiloh, so you and I are single. I'm not quite on the dating scene yet because I have preserved that area. So are you on any dating scenes or dating site? How's dating these days?
I'm on the sites, but not like active. I'll like see who's like, liking me or whatever, but I'm not responding anymore because it's just not even worth it. It's like Les, the comedian, said, it's not a dating site anymore. It's like just throw all of the date sites together and just let's call it what's left. Because it
Oh
ain't.
shit.
Left.
Can I ask a question? So I don't know because I'm gonna date myself here. Y'all remember Black Planet? Is it that? Is it like Black Planet, but now in a
I never,
paid way? So now we're all
I never,
paying.
I never did it. I never did any date sites when that was out. Like
Oh, but
out.
Black Planet was not for dating.
Oh,
What it was intended for was a meetup, right? It would like guess it would be a it would have been a mashup between Facebook and Instagram before they blew up. Cause I know there was two versions. There was Black Planet, and then there was Mi Gente, which was for the Latino population. And I went on Mi Gente, and it was to connect with people you hadn't seen, you never met. But what it turned into, baby, was it was a meat market. You were just scrolling through people's like you were shopping. That's what it looked
well,
like. It was
that's what
Amazon for
they all
people.
are now. They're all the
Yeah, that's
same.
what. Yeah,
But
for
now,
the
but
most
that one
part.
was free. That was free. Now people pay for it.
Some of the people pay for it, but it's
Yeah.
some
Well,
of them
because
are
you can't
free.
contact people unless you're on a paid subscription. So it's kind of like a tease. Like you could sometimes see, but you couldn't talk to them.
Right, right.
You could send a heart once every
You
five
can't
lunar
message.
cycles.
Unless
Like
you
you
pay,
can't
you can't
message
message.
nobody.
Right.
Like the whole idea is to get you to pay, and then right, I would guess you have to fill out some kind of survey and tell them who you are
And
and
who you like,
then who
what
you
type.
like and the types. And yeah.
And that doesn't even work anymore because
So tell us what you've been experiencing, Shiloh, on the when you go on those things that you
well,
say you don't do it no more.
so I have well, most of the people that's on the free ones, I think, because they know that it's free and they don't have to pay for it, it's a game for them. Like they're just on there lying. They're not being truthful about what they're looking for, or they're already in a relationship and they just want to play the scene. They're not being honest about their situations. A lot of them are not working, a lot of them are not driving, a lot of them live with family or whatever. Some of them, so I feel like they're like the people that I have met, because I haven't really met anybody recent. Um, they all have like they I don't know, like their intentions are not good. Their intentions are terrible. Like they're really just up there trying to see who they can manipulate or use. Um, a lot of foreigners, a lot of foreigners.
So
So
is it safe to say it's not even about sex? It's like maybe they're looking for a come up or something like that.
that or sex. Because if they're married, then why else would you want to be on here?
Right.
You're in a
Oh,
relationship. relationship and you live with somebody else, why else are you trying to be on here? I mean, I dated somebody for a couple of years who was basically like an opportunist type person, like, somebody who would technically try to like manipulate or use, but it only could go but so far. Like it was
Right.
just it's not a good experience. I just haven't really just I never even imagined that dating or even trying to be in a relationship with anybody would be anything like it is. It's terrible. Like it's really, really bad. It's not even like
What you saying is stay where I'm at right now. Don't even don't
um
even
and you know what? Staying like you are though won't get you anywhere. I mean like um, I don't know.
I
Like
know.
it's just like you take a chance with walking out your front door. So I guess why not take a chance with, you know, trying it? But
It's too much. Like you just said, it's too much. Like even dating, period, and getting involved with people, you don't know who you're meeting anymore. All these things that's happened with people, their baby fathers killing them, or they ex-husbands killing them, they boyfriends and husbands killing them. It's like you don't know, you don't even know. People have a mask on
yeah,
in
you
the
don't know
beginning.
what yourself into. You really don't.
Right.
Yeah, you don't.
Right. And
Just
then, like you said, opportunists, there's a lot of opportunists. People just want to use people. But my thing is, I just be wondering what is their mind frame? If you going up there, not even on a dating site, let's just be transparent. There's a lot of people that's not on dating sites that are married and they still like, I feel like the people who are hooked up and married, the men are the ones who chase the most. You come across so many different married men that will be out there on the prowl like they're single
but
more
the
than
thing
single
is,
men.
when you do come across those type of people, you gotta really dig deep to find out that they're married because they do such a good job hiding that information. And
Right.
then I've gotten so experienced with it, like I could tell it's a men are the same, no matter where they're from, who they are, whatever their behaviors are the same. So I pretty much learned, or I feel like I mastered, or like my mother would say, I have a PhD. And well, no, she'll say I have a PhD in a nigga, but but like I feel like when there's certain signs that you could pick up on, their behaviors or whatever. Like if they're married, some of them, like I met a guy who I was, talking to for a while. I mean, in the beginning, he kind of just put it out there like, oh, just text me and I'll call you or I'll text you back because I like to talk through text. Then I started like communicating with other men that probably were in relationships or married. And it was the same thing like, oh, just text me if I'm free, I'll get back with you or whatever. Or they'll get the text, they'll respond, and then if I call because I text and I see that they're with the phone and because they responded right away, I might pick up the phone and call. They won't answer, they'll call me later. um
You know.
Recently, somebody was like, oh, when I go home I crash out. So I said, oh, well, you can't talk when you're home. And he was like, well, I kind of just crash out when I get home. Like I just, nah, you got somebody at home. You can't talk
Right.
when you're home.
Right.
That's just how I'm going to take it. I'm not going to take it another way. But it's not, yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad. But, you
Right.
could tell which ones is like in a relationship. You could tell which ones are not being serious. I mean, I've come in contact with men who profile say they looking for a serious relationship, and then when you start talking to them, and you might get a date or two, and then they not looking for a serious relationship. What? Why are you on a dating site?
And then you put lying on your profile. Like if that's
Right.
not what you want,
Say
why are
it.
you saying it? Just say
Right.
what you want. Say what it is. Everybody's
Yeah.
grown. Nobody got time for games. I think that's my thing. I don't have time for games. I have zero tolerance. Because like you said, you can almost feel when they're lying. You can almost tell when they're lying. If the conversation is going so like crazy, they start like trying to leave stuff out. I know right away. I don't want to talk to them no more. I'll cut it short. Like, you know what? I'm not talking to you no more. I just don't have the patience. But everything that I've been through, like you said, PhD, we do have a PhD at this point in men because we don't learn them so well that we could like wean out the bullshit real quick, which is good. Which
Yep.
is good. But
And
I
that's the
say
thing. Like like even like some of them will say, "Oh, let's video." The main one that gets me is like, "Oh, do you have WhatsApp?" No, I don't have WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp. Why do you want to go to WhatsApp? The phone
Out of the
works
country.
the same. The phone works the same way. And I feel like when they say they want to use WhatsApp, it's either the scammers or because WhatsApp is like an encrypted site, so like the conversation can't go anywhere or the video call can't go anywhere. But why do you need to use a free encrypted app to talk to
Right.
me? Why you can't talk to me on your actual cell phone?
Because they're in another country.
Right. So that either they're in another country or they're just trying to prevent, because I learned this from a previous relationship and I didn't even know what WhatsApp was back then. But then now I know that WhatsApp is like, oh, if you're on that application, like, and you're in a relationship, the other person would never be able to see it. Like it's all encrypted. If you're texting, if you're talking, like nobody could ever see it. Versus like if you're just on your actual phone, I could go to your history, and even if you try to delete it, they're still away. Like it's crazy
Okay.
what they're coming up with. But I don't, yeah, you could easily find out the BS, and it's unfortunate because it's a lot of them out there. It's a lot of them out there that's like not serious at all. It's a lot, but and I've done video calls with men. Like I was talking to a guy, two guys actually, one for over a year, never met him, but always video called. Could talk to him day in and day out. Good conversation, which is why I entertained it for as long as I did. Second person, video talked to him for a few months, never met him. Again, intentions was terrible. Never had the intentions to really meet up. Um, and then when I asked, I was like, because I don't really ask if you want to meet up. I wait and let them, offer to meet, whatever. So, um, want to meet up? No, well, I gotta see, or I'm with my son, or I'm this, or I'm that. And then when it came down to it, was like, you're not really my type, but I want to be your friend. No, I don't want to be your friend.
That's not why. That's not what I
I'm not
signed up
looking for,
for.
yeah, I'm not looking for male friends. I'm not trying to accumulate a bunch of damn men friends. I'm looking for my man. And so if I'm not your type, then why you want to have conversations with me? Why you still want to talk to me by video? I don't need
They
to
don't
do
know
that.
what they want.
Yeah. And then my thing was, I learned with this particular person, like, you really being picky and you got life alert on your neck. You recovering from a stroke. Like, I'm looking at him through the video one day and I'm like, what's on your neck? And he was like, oh, this. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, oh, that's my life alert. Seriously? Like, I was like, seriously? Like, so
Um,
you actually, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe he had a bad limp and, maybe he thought I was too high standard, for him and he would be embarrassed to meet me in person. I don't know. But, because I never did get to see him. The other one I talked to for over a year, we was good friends, good conversation, cool guy, definitely not my type, but my mother used to call him legless because she was like, "Do he got legs? Do he go anywhere?" And I'm like, "Ma, I seen him walking around his apartment, but other than that, I don't know what his real deal is. But it's just it's bad business out there for the dating scene. It's not fun. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun, and it's not.
right. Like you can't even get like
It's draining.
a
It's
date.
exhausting. It's depressing. It's like all of that in one. It's really bad.
I don't know. I don't know. Do men like to date anymore?
I I don't know because like a lot of them wanna some of them wanna date, but then they're like, they don't have the money or the funds or the means or
And then
like
they shouldn't be dating. That shouldn't. They should not even be on a website. They should be
I'm not,
somewhere
yeah,
getting their goals together, getting themselves together.
right. And I had that conversation with somebody not long ago, and I was saying that, like. you can't date me because you have a situation. You need to work on your situation and then maybe introduce the dating. you
Seeing
know
later. Priority is
yeah,
messed up. Priority
right.
is messed up. But
Yes.
again, that's someone maybe looking for a come up opportunist. Like if they could get with someone who's already doing something, who's already established, that would help them get a leap up, a
No,
start at least.
yeah, I'm raising a son to be a man. I'm not.
Raising nobody else's grown
No.
son.
Nope.
So Priscilla, you've been so quiet. Can you give us some?
Oh, I'm just listening to you ladies and, absorbing what you guys are saying and really going into a place because the way that I am set up. The way that I am set up and my emotions are set up, I've had to learn how to really discern when to jump in and when not to, right? And because I live by the adage that I am my sister's keeper, there are times where I will co-sign what you say. If I am in agreement, there's times that I don't co-sign what people say because I may not be in agreement. The only thing that I will say to you all and anyone listening to this is have an open mind, keep an open mind. Don't take anything that I say as offense, but let it marinate, let it sit, fester, think about it. Because in life, perspective is a huge thing, right? And when I sit and I am hearing, right, I am married, right? I am married. I've been in a relationship with my husband for actually in a few weeks it'll be 20 years that we've
All
been
right,
together. We've
right.
been married for 18. And if I can tell you that out of those 20 years that we've been together, only the last two can I say that I've actually been dating my husband, that is the truth.
Nice,
Okay? That is the truth.
nice.
And there are things that you all are saying that about 21, 22 years ago, I would have been right here with you like, girl, girl, that's it. That's right. But because I am in the relationship that I'm in and I have the relationship with myself that I gotta step back and say, okay, let me hear what people gotta say, right? Instead of automatically challenging you and saying, well, what about this? I don't need to challenge you with anything, but I will ask questions. And some questions if you answer it, great. And if you don't, you gotta think about it for a little bit, then that's a reflective question. There is something to be said and I'm not making this a gender thing because this is not a man or a woman thing. I know this is the dialogue that we're having, but I want it to keep it as a person type thing. And if we could take it to the Bible, we could take it there just to start, right? And what is that saying? Well, let's he who is what is it about the casting the stone? You can say it. If you are without sin, go ahead, cast that stone, baby. Go throw it, and stand back and see what happens, right? But not one single person on this earth is without any fault or flaws.
Right.
Not one single person. Not one single person. It's a matter of perspective. And it's a matter of seeing, where someone is in life. But before you can appreciate where someone else is in life is where are you in life?
Yeah.
Right? Because what I learned was that before I can demand, and this is outside of romantic relationship, that's a different layer that you add to it. But before I demand anything from anyone, I must first be able to give that to myself.
That's it.
Okay? I cannot demand somebody have pockets and be able to pay for dates if all I have in my bank account is $26.02 and I got bills that are about to hit that I can't afford. And I'm going to wonder how in the heck I'm going to make that bill get paid with only $26 when the bill is about 150. And I
Mm,
need
But
electricity in my
I've
house.
dated.
No, what?
I've done.
No,
I've
no,
dated
no, no,
some.
no. Shiloh, I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you to listen to me, hon. I really am. That's all I'm asking in this moment. That's all I'm asking. And the reason why I'm asking that is because I've been where you're at. Exactly where you're at. I've been there. I have been so frustrated with everything and anything that had to do with men with women, with children, with old adults, with young adults, with everybody, with dogs, cats, squirrels, everybody. I've had it. But I had to take a look at where I was in my life in that moment, right? And prior to my meeting my husband, I have been everything under the sun. I have been a mistress when I didn't know I was a mistress. I was a mistress knowing I was a mistress. I was the girlfriend, devoted girlfriend, and things like that. I have been everything under the sun, and that is who I have been. It doesn't mean that is who I am in this moment, but that is who I have been. And in, before I was ready to receive that blessing that was my husband, I had to go through a lot of darkness. I had to go through a lot of stuff. And then when it was that time, I had said, I got to a point where I said to myself, you know what? I don't even care for men like that. When I want something, I'll get what I want from them and I'm out. And that wasn't getting dinners from them. That was just a physical need and a physical urge that got met when I needed to met. No, I needed it met. And that was it. Was that often? Was that all the time? It was what it was when it was.
When it was,
Right.
yeah.
When it was.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I got to that point where I was like, that's not what I want. I really had to take a look at, well, where am I? Like, what am I doing? Because it wasn't that everybody was wrong or everybody was at fault. Is that in that moment that was filling a need that I needed in that moment met. And then when I realized or it wasn't suiting me anymore, or maybe I opened my eyes to the situation, I was like, this is not where I want to be. And I moved on. But you get to a point where you get so tired of that nonsense that you turn it inside and you start looking internally. And I said to myself, I'm good. And I was 20, so I'm 47. So I was 24, 25 when I told myself I'm good being by myself. By that point, I already had a child. I had a child when I was 18. My child was about 7 or 8.
I was
Um,
42. I was
yeah,
42.
I told myself, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to be happy with me. And you know what I started doing? I started dating myself. I was going out to the museums with my baby. And if they were with their dad, then I was doing something for me. That was sometimes going out with my cousin, who is about a month or two older than I am, and we would go out to the clubs, or we would go out to eat, or I would go to the movies, or I would stay home and read a book. I started to do the things that I wanted to do for myself. I started to work on myself. I'm not saying it's how I am today is how I was back then, but it was that shift. It was that change. One thing that I am is I'm a praying woman. I've been praying, praying, praying. My grandmother taught me how to pray when I was about 3 years old. And I've been praying since. I prayed for my sister, she got here. And I prayed for my husband, and everything else that followed came. I literally prayed the same prayer for a year. But during that year, I was doing those things that I felt I needed to do for myself, because I was setting myself up so that if I never got in a partnership with anyone, I was okay being by myself, right? Not just the financial part, but the things that made me me, the things that gave me my identity of self. That's what I started doing. In that time process, when I said, okay, I'm done, a year later, I met my husband. And at first, I was like, this is great. Like, this is nice. And he accepted my child, and it was fantastic. And then, about what? That was 2005. It is 2025. In 2013, my husband became my enemy, because it was years of buildup of, okay, so now I'm married. Mind you, this is what I approached my husband. That was one. That was one thing I did. I proposed to my husband. That was the other thing I did. I set it up. Well, actually, we discussed moving in together. So he suggested it. We move in together. I got pregnant 2 months into doing this and to us moving in together. We got married about a few months later, because I said to him, if I could make it happen, would you do it? Yeah. And we all flew out to Vegas and we got married. Now I'm pregnant. I get married. I get promoted. I have so many things going on, right? And all this time, I'm not addressing the issue of our relationship. We just jumped into responsibilities. We just jumped into playing roles that we had learned from what we had seen growing up. And we didn't really, we had a good foundation because we always been able to communicate. But I saw the breakdown in that communication because there were other things added to it and we hadn't really figured each other out. And there is a piece of me that says to me, there were things that I did as a woman that maybe took away his power as a man
Oh yeah, that
in
that
the
definitely
chasing,
happens.
right? In the chasing and in the proposal and in the making it work and in doing all of this. I'm an alpha woman. I get it. I'm 4'11" and I'm an alpha woman. And I'm like, if things got to get done, I know what I need to do to make it happen. I got you. I got you. That's me. But I've always had to take charge over something since I was really young. Since I was really young. Right. And I'm not counting the time where I became a mom. I'm saying younger than that. When I'm the only one in my family who is fluent in English and in Spanish, and I'm calling companies at like when I'm in fourth grade saying, this is what's going on and this is what we need. And so I was doing certain things. I'm always doing that, not realizing, right, that there are things that culturally we get to do. And I guess through our gender we get to do and have gender roles and things like that. I didn't see that because I know I needed to do what I had to do to get sure to make sure that my child and I had what we needed. I've always been that way. And because I've been that way, there were things that I did that I know took away certain things that maybe traditionally he would have done. My mindset was, but if I love you and I know what I want, why is it a bad thing to go after what I want? Right. And I'm sharing all this because this is the foundation of what got me to the point where I am today, where I had to learn how to separate
Date again.
the ideas, right? The ideas that were thrown at me with what my
I
reality
gotta get
is.
my fan.
Oh, go get your fan. Go get your fan. Um, so I had to like learn how to separate all of that. And in the process, because we're doing so many things, right? So many things are expected of us to be able to do all at the same time. But I had to go ahead and learn how to look at what my flaws and my limitations were, understanding at the same time that my partner comes with their flaws and their limitations, but that in order for us to come together as one, we have to each separately do what we have to do. And that's while being in the marriage. And I didn't discover that and put that into practice until about literally this December 31st, 2025 will be 3 years where I literally looked at that man and made a promise and said to him, effective this moment, when we walk out, because we were outside on the 31st, I said, when we walk back inside and it is already the new year, we start fresh. And we started dating 3 years ago. Some in a way that we never did when we first got together. But that was because there was so many years, right? It was like 17 years of us being together in a relationship, but not being together in that relationship. And it was because we were going through individual experiences and there was the communication. We couldn't even get that in sync because we were feeling how we were feeling. And exactly how you were feeling, I was feeling in my marriage. Like, I gotta do, what is this? Like, how come you don't? And what is, and I had to look at myself and say, hold on, I'm asking something of someone I can't even give myself. 100%. Because if you wanted 100% from somebody, you got to give it to yourself 100%. You have to. So, for example, when we say, you know, when we say, can't buy, if you can't take me out on a date, if you can't pay for a date, then I don't, But how many people can actually afford to take themselves on the date they're expecting someone else to take them on? Because I'm going to tell you right now, to go to the movies and a dinner like we used to from back in the day,
It's like almost $100
it
for
is
a
straight up
ticket.
$50. It can
Yeah.
be $50 for two people to go see a movie in a regular theater.
But you know what? Let me just interject real quick. So
Yeah, good.
what you're saying is it speaks volumes, right? Because at the same time, like Shiloh said, right? For me, I as I'm hearing this, what's going on, a lot of people are having had their priorities messed up. And
Absolutely.
if you're not ready to be able to do that for someone else, right? Why are you out there? Like they're just putting themselves out there and they can't afford to be out there. So why are you out
Girl,
there? So it's
girl,
like
you
put your
preaching. You preaching
yeah,
to the choir. You're
put
preaching to the
yourself
choir.
put yourself on reserve because sex of female or male is not priority. You should be priority. So don't put yourself out there because I've had the same experience before. Even being in a relationship, I'm a divorcee. So I've been married and got divorced. And for me, my marriage story is I feel like my husband took me off the market. My ex-husband took me off the market so nobody else wouldn't
And you
date
know
me.
that happens.
So
And
he
you know a
wasn't
good
ready.
look, he saw a good investment. He knew what a good investment
Right,
you were, right? Because
right.
that's the thing. That's when you see cuffing season, how you got this cuffing season, everybody looking for the best investment. Who can I invest in for this moment? Here's the thing.
Who could
I'm
invest
not
in
saying,
me?
look, he said, "Ooh, hold up. She's a good investment. She's going to yield really good rewards. I don't have to put that much of an effort because she's going to go ahead and she's going to take care of it because that's who she is as a person,
Yes,
right?
yes,
But think about why you had to become that person.
right.
Why did you have to become that person that he
Haven't
gets
had
to
the
benefit,
opportunity.
but he
Right.
didn't throw in the coins from the ground level to do it? No, that's a thing that you do. And sometimes, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you as an alpha woman because I feel we're all alpha women here. As an alpha woman, I want to be taken care of. I hear you. I'm like,
Right.
pamper me, dude.
Right.
I'm
I'm definitely
tired.
not alpha. Are you alpha?
I'm tired.
Some
We are.
people, some people, but listen, some people played a role for a long time because I can't say that my husband didn't take care of me because he did. He
Mm-hmm.
did until he didn't no more. So
Mm-hmm.
again, they come with masks and those masks fall off. Even like into a year and a half after, I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. He's changed to this whole other person that I wasn't dating. That's not the
Mm-hmm.
person I was dating. That's not the person. So it happens. Like Shiloh said, we take a chance. Like we go outside, we walk outside, we take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Dating, you're taking a chance. I don't feel like dating. For me, and I'm this is just me. When I gave this situation right here, me being with someone is in God's hand. I have no desire to even open up that door and take it back. When he go like this, Trina, that's the one. I'ma know because I'ma feel it. Until then, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
may have gotten too comfortable with being single because I don't have to worry about what we eating today. I don't know. Oh, what you doing? Where you at? That part of it, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel alone every so often, but it's always something to remind me of why I'm here. And like you said, I like as a person, you gotta grow too. So I know I had to grow in some areas. It's so if I let somebody in right now, you know what I'm gonna be? I'm not gonna give them me because I'm so into me right now. I'm not gonna give them enough of
Exactly.
you. So
Listen,
they
and when I say the term alpha woman, here's what I mean. You're not passive, you're not a pushover. No one is going to go ahead and take advantage of you because you go ahead and you stand up for you. That to
anymore,
me is an alpha woman. You got
anymore.
to
Because we've been there.
you get to grow into that. And
Yeah.
each and every woman is capable of being that, and some of them are more consistent than others, but that does show up. But there are women, because we're speaking about women, there are women who go ahead and just to make sure that they got somebody, they put up with a whole lot of nonsense
Just to
and they
say they
go ahead
got
and just
somebody.
to say, I got somebody. Okay. Because there's a lot of women who are living with very wealthy men. They don't have their own, but they floss somebody else's and want to then go ahead and look down at the women that may financially not have that and say, well, at least I got this. And I'm here to say, I'd rather be broke and happy
Come finish.
than miserable and in a marriage with money, because
Right.
money doesn't fix everything.
You can get
It
your
really doesn't. It helps, but it doesn't fix everything,
let them
and
know.
sometimes it actually ruins situations.
I haven't had either one of those. I haven't had anybody with money or but I wouldn't mind trying it just to see for myself because
I don't know anybody that would, Shiloh. I really don't. I really
why the
don't.
hell
I
not?
just
You
know
know,
that
like
we all
why?
have different degrees of what we're willing to put up with. You know what I mean? We
And
all
at this
have different
point, it's
degrees.
nothing.
You know,
Right,
and at this point,
right.
like for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know about you, but I've gotten to this point, even in my marriage, as recent as a few weeks ago, where I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna do no more. And Katrina knows this is my favorite saying, what we not gonna do. See, what we're not gonna do is you're not gonna go ahead and put yourself in a situation where you very well know you're gonna get sick from something and then expect me to go ahead and take care of you because you can control your urges and your desires. So when you decide that you want to grow up and learn how to control yourself, I will then be there to support you. But until you do, because you will willingly go into situations that you know are going to cause you harm and you expect me to save you each and every time, that doesn't work for me.
So sleepy.
That
Yeah,
doesn't work for me.
I don't know.
Okay? And
I
those are things that we experience, and to different degrees and different stages.
That's
I
tough.
am
Not to deal with it no more.
right. And then you get to a point where you're like, you know what? This doesn't work for me, period. And you get to walk away and you close that door. And then something else will pop up. You know what I mean? And something else pops up. And then you keep doing that until you're to that point where you establish who you are and what you want in life. And sometimes
Mhm.
I feel that there are points that we get to where we get sick and tired of ourselves, that's when we actually start doing the work, right? Because it's we're all work in progress. We all are. But there is this expectation that sometimes women have that I feel is unfair. Because we don't have it all together, but want somebody else to come in and sweep us off our feet and take care of it. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work, because if you can't take care of you, because then you know what if you solely depend on this person for this one thing and they go away, they die, because it happens, they choose to not carry that burden anymore because maybe they're like, I can't do this for me and for you.
There's a lot of women like that.
Of course, but there's men that are like that too.
There's a lot of men like that. Well, that's
Yeah, they're
to
like, I
me.
can't do this no more. Like,
To
what you
me,
want
to
from me
me, what
is
I'm
a lot.
seeing in 2025, it probably was
Hmm.
2024 and 2023, what I have seen is that men have been so dependent on women because we know how our grandparents was. Like my grandfather was out on the road. He came home, he put the money on the table, he paid all the bills. I ain't never seen my grandmother go out to work, right? So I knew that she was being taken care of. Now you don't you barely can see that. But again, we have to put ourselves in different situations. We have to put ourselves around different type of people. We have to put ourselves in
Yes,
different areas
that's the other
for us
thing.
to get what
It's
our what we
you
want.
you can't stay, you can't, this is what the let's call a thing. You can't live in the inner city, let's say in the inner sanctums, the crazy part of Newark, complaining about all the craziness going on around you, but then you don't leave. You
Right,
stay right there
right,
complaining about everything going on, but you have the choice to stay where you're at or move on. And that's
right.
with anything that you do in life. You stay where you're at or you move on.
well, that's
And
why I'm.
that applies exactly, girl, because you don't want to go ahead and deal with that nonsense. You
I
don't
don't,
want to go ahead
and
and deal with
I
that.
I can afford to date, which is probably why I still put myself out there to entertain it. But it is, it gets to be a lot. Like it's not fun when you're the only one that's really interested in has good intentions. So that's
But then again, Shiloh, let me ask you this. What do you like to do for fun?
anything that a grown, mature adult likes to do for fun.
Like
And that
what?
could be bowling, traveling, um, dinners, movies, comedy. I love comedy shows, and I've offered these things, and I have taken not much because I have to limit myself because I'm an overdoer, and Katrina
Mm-hmm.
knows I will go above and beyond. But
Mm-hmm.
I have taken and paid the bill on a date, so
Been
that's
there,
not
done that, girl. Girl, I told you
yeah
I bought my husband's engagement ring. I
yeah
went to
that
Tiffany's and bought
that
his
I'm not
engagement ring.
doing
Don't
because
tell
I'm
me
not
nothing.
yeah that
Don't
part
tell
I
me
ain't
nothing.
doing,
No,
and
listen, you'd
I
be
know
surprised. There's a lot of things in life that I said I would never do, and you'd be surprised when the spirit moves you,
that
when
I
God is
know
in
I
your
would
heart.
never do.
You, like I said, you never know what
I
may happen. You
don't
never know. You
I can
never know.
almost 99.9%
Ooh,
guarantee
I love when I hear those odds because
that
that is you saying to me,
I am not doing that. First
okay,
of
honey.
all, marriage is far fetched for me. I'm like, I'm 47. If I get married, nice. If I don't, it's okay. Like, I'm not,
Hmm.
I'm not even, my mindset isn't there. I can't even have a successful dating relationship. So marriage is far fetched. It's not even something that I would even, that I can even remotely consider at this moment in my life. So getting a ring or proposing to anybody, it's not, I've known a person that actually did that, and the marriage didn't work out. And that wouldn't be why the marriage didn't work out. But I feel like that's a man's, that I don't feel like it's solely a man's role, but I'm gonna go old school and say it is, because that's a sign to me that he's ready. Because I know I'm ready. I know that I'm capable of being a wife. I know that if I was asked to be a wife, that I will take the opportunity. But I feel like a proposal should come from a man, because they're so immature that if they're willing to take that initiative, it shows me a better
A little
part of,
maturity. A
right.
little
Okay.
So
maturity.
And
that
I'm
I
and
would
I'm here
never do.
and
I
I'm here
would
to
never
say
propose.
and
But you did it 20 years ago. So it's different now. We dealing with a whole different breed now.
Of
You
men.
know,
Hmm.
LGBTQ came into the picture. These men could be whatever they want to be
So
nowadays. They don't have,
okay.
and
And
they
in all
don't have to
fairness,
hide it
and
or
in all
anything.
fairness to listen, in all fairness to life,
So,
LGBTQ has been around since ancient times. That is not anything new within the last
but
20 to
they,
30 years.
they
It
don't
has
have to hide
it
it,
has
because
it was always, but when the
it was,
society tells you, when
it
society
was,
tells you that people will judge you and not look at you for who you are and judge you on what your preferences are with who you want to, what you're attracted to, whom you're attracted to, or whatever. I
and it
keep an open
allows,
I keep an open mind to that. I keep an open mind to it personally. I keep an
it's
open mind to
safer.
that
It's
because then
safer these days than it was back then. So
it
that's why. But the difference is, my opinion, and for what I've seen, is that a lot of men are doing both, and some women are subjected to it.
right,
So that it's not about the whole um letters thing. So
right.
it's not solely about that and them, because like you said, it's been around for so long. But now they're more comfortable because the society has accepted them. But as far as when it comes to dating, men are both. They want to be straight and
Trent,
bi, but their bi side is hidden, and it's causing women to, you know.
I say the truth. I say this is what I say. If you come to people with the truth, right, and
And they
with who,
don't.
and that's the problem. See, the problem is, regardless of what it is, regardless of what subject, whether it's your finances, whether it's your sexual preferences, whether it's where you live, whether it's that where you
When you
live,
work.
you sleep on a mattress on the floor, because we all know these people who are flossing Gucci belts and are sleeping on the floor. So it doesn't matter what area of life it is that you're saying, the
Right.
truth
That's it.
does set you free. Because when you come to, it's like what Shiloh said, sometimes the people are like, look, this is what it is. And so, and listen, when I was hearing you speak, there's feelings that I got because I was that married person who did step out. I was that person who did step out of many years of frustration, out of many years of unhappiness, out of many, and I can tell you every excuse under the sun. I could give it everything, and nothing will justify what I did
Right.
in my marriage. It will not. It will not justify. I know what I did, and that is between obviously me and my husband. I will share what I can share. I will share that it was not necessarily something that I can say I
And
walked
it
away
wasn't
from
worth it. At the end
everything.
of the day, it wasn't
Right.
worth it.
And that's what I'm getting to. It wasn't not necessary. No, you know what? Let me correct myself and back up. Everything that happened needed to happen so that I can have the perspective and the clarity and the discernment and the choices that I made to go ahead and bring me to where I'm at today in my marriage, which is in a very loving relationship, in a very trusting relationship, in a relationship that where we were about 3, 4 years ago is not where we are at right now. But there was purpose and intention, and everything that happened needed to happen the way that it did, so that I can sit
Yeah.
here and have this conversation, right? From a place of experience and knowledge, to say that sometimes really great people do really shitty things. And sometimes really shitty people have really great moments where they teach you something
Right.
and they show you how things are. And if what I did and everything that followed with it and things that happened precipitated before, if I would have been judged by who that I was then, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation right now. I wouldn't be married right now, and I wouldn't be as happy as I am right now in my relationship. But I had to go through that shit. I had to learn how to be with myself. I had to learn how to tell myself the truth to myself, to say
Yeah.
this is
That's
not
number
who you want
one.
to be. Because
That's
when
number
you're
one.
doing,
You gotta be honest with
yeah,
you.
I had to be honest with myself, and I got so sick and tired of feeling how I was feeling that I had no choice than to break up with who I used to be who I am today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is a work in progress. But I am saying to you, I know we're talking and it's very easy to point the finger out, but every time you point out, you got three pointing right back at you. So it's kind of like, what I want, or I guess the message for me, right, is to say that perspective is everything. It really truly is everything. You invest in other people all the time, and we neglect to invest in self. We
Yeah.
really do. Because if I want to be in a relationship, even within my marriage, right? I still have to date my husband. 3 years ago, that's what I told my husband I was going to do, because I knew that my husband were coming to a point in time in our lives where it was just going to be us. And we didn't have any of the other distractions like the kids in the house, that we were only focusing to make sure that they were okay. Now we had to get to relearn each other, right? And we had grown all these years, and I had to, like, tell him, no, this is who I am. Even though he was seeing me, even though he was sleeping next to me, waking up and turning around, and I was right there, I wasn't the same person anymore, because I started working on myself. And I started looking at things in with different eyes. Now, I'm not saying that men aren't full of nonsense and malarkey and shenanigans, because
Yes,
yeah,
they are.
yeah, because they are. Because
Yeah.
we are as women. Sometimes we're guilty. Sometimes some moms are guilty of not giving their son the real perspective on women, and we
And
create this, and we
what did
create this
Charlotte just
like,
say? What did Charlotte just say? I'm
yeah,
raising my son to be a man.
right,
A lot of
right. But what
mothers
does that
didn't,
mean? But
as
right,
we're
but what does that
seeing.
mean, right? What does that necessarily mean? What is you're raising, and I'm not saying the Shiloh in regards to you, but like for some women's perspective, what does that mean where you're raising a man? Are you teaching him to be self-sufficient? Are you teaching him, that he needs to like do for
No,
yourself?
my thing is this: at our age, we are seeing the lack of.
Oh, I know,
So
but that's what I'm saying.
hearing
Shiloh is
Shiloh
an
says that, say
example.
that speaks volumes.
Of
That
course.
the men that we have seen and been around, not all, um,
Mm-hmm.
lack that. Lack.
Yeah.
And if they were taught, and they don't even have to have it's not an excuse that a man wasn't in the house, because as a woman, we're teaching ourselves how to be a woman, how to be a mom, right? A man could do the same thing, but they're choosing not to. So they'll come in again, being honest, number one, with
Mm-hmm.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Then they could be honest with everybody else. So that's
Right.
what I'm seeing. No one is being honest with themselves first anymore. No one is being taking priority to take care of themselves before they try to put
Mm-hmm.
themselves out there.
Right.
So those are two huge things that I
Right.
see and
Right.
I have experienced and sound like Shallow is experiencing. These men
Absolutely.
are boys now, and I don't have any sons. I have grandsons. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
helping raise my grandsons. I'm not raising no
Absolutely.
man, as K Michelle said.
No. And listen, and I'm not saying that because I want this to just be a little bit clear. You have some women who raise these men to believe that they are the only thing that matters in this world, disregarding everyone else because you see it. You have women who are, that's mama's boy, the mama's boy. But what does that mean? Because you can have a mama's boy who is understanding that there are responsibilities that you get to have for yourself, and that translates and spills over into others. My dad, mama's boy, his mother taught him how to cook, how to clean, how to help out in the house, how to do, because he was the oldest of like 12. He had to learn that way. His dad was out in the streets working and gallivanting with a whole other family, right? And that's what he also learned, because he also saw that. But when it came down to being responsible and being of like being responsible for self, my dad can take care of himself. When my mom ended up getting sick, and my parents have been together for 52, 53 years, when my mom got sick, my dad stepped up to the plate and showed us also what that looked like,
Right. Reverse.
right? So when my sister and I got married, right, the men that we ended up with resemble that in one way, shape, or form. We were very fortunate.
I
And then,
always say that a woman marry a man identical to her father, and vice versa.
yeah,
A man
and
will
that,
marry a
my
woman
friend,
identical to their
And that could
mother.
be my situation because my father was a piece of shit. So
That's
therefore that's all I'm attracted to, or that's all I'm attracting is piece of shit men. And I actually have grown into understanding and trusting that that's what my issue is. It's nothing
okay,
that I'm doing wrong, and it's nothing,
right.
but I just feel like, but because I didn't have the father figure, I had a good male figure in my life, but
hmm,
he wasn't my father. So it's
it
a
wasn't who
different.
you wanted to be or who was
It doesn't
supposed to
matter
be.
if it was who it was or who it wasn't supposed to be, because my father was this male figure that was in my life was in my life too. For me to even not know that he wasn't a father figure, my mother was always in a steady long term relationship. So this man came in the picture when I was 2, and they broke up when I was 25. So
Oh
to
wow.
say that he wasn't,
Father.
he wasn't
Yeah, so he's
he
your
wasn't
father.
my
He was just
biological father. He was just
mm-hmm.
in my life. So
Right.
I got to see, a great man, be in a relationship with my mom and treat her nice and vacation her and pay her bills and all of that great stuff. But I think the fact of knowing that my father, my biological father, who was who we were aware of and knew, but I knew that he was shitty. So I'm maybe biologically or hereditary taking that instead of what I saw, you know. But even like for my son, you said like, what? How am I raising a man, or women that are raising men? My son is a young man, and I'm doing a phenomenal job raising
Mm.
him. But I don't know what I can't raise him to be a husband because I'm not I don't have a husband and I'm not a man. And I can't even say that role. My son has to learn from what he saw, and that venom is in him. He saw the shitty part of what his father was. And I hope that he takes that information and what he saw, and he learns from that. Like, I can't change what he saw because he was there and he witnessed it for himself. And when you inject that in a male or any child, period, it's what they see is what they know. It doesn't go away. So I always say to him, you know how your father was, you saw what your father was, and even though they have a decent relationship and and they're actively involved with each other, just do the opposite of what he did when it came to his relationships. Be a better man, get you a wife, have you a family, take care of your family. I have my brother who's like the total opposite. He's a phenomenal man, a phenomenal husband. His wife don't have to work if she don't want to. The household is taken care of. She's driving the biggest Lexus truck Lexus makes. She had her house built from the ground. She had her pool put in when she wanted it. So, he sees, both sides of the island, but at the same time, I'm only raising him to be a great person, which is
That's
all I
it.
can do. I'm raising
Absolutely.
him to get his education and to make some good money for himself because that's what it takes in this life. But as far as his relationship goals are and whatever he chooses with that, because as far as I know, he might be interested in a man. I don't know. And I'm not going to say I raised him to have that interest, but he might like that because that's what these kids are now. They have the freedom to be and pick and choose whatever sex they want. And I don't have anything to do with that. And he certainly wouldn't have learned that from me because that's not me. But you can't really say what kind of man you're going to raise or whatever because men see things, they learn things, and they don't want to reciprocate that or they want to change or they want to do something different. And I'm hoping that's what he learned from, a relationship
Everything.
standpoint. I
Right.
can't really say, for anybody else or whatever, but all men, like I've met some really good quality men. They just failed at certain things. Like,
Okay.
it's not like they're not all bad. They're just like if I could build one from one that I had,
You probably will soon, Shiloh. Give it
it would
AI
be
five
I
more
can make,
minutes.
because I've met some
Give
good
Elon
men, but
Musk 5 more minutes. I'm sure he's got one in his back pocket. Just give him 5 more minutes. He's blowing up.
yeah,
They literally probably
but
blowing up. Just give him 5 more.
yeah, but also too, I think it's cultural thing. It's where I
Yeah.
came from, where Katrina came from, where you came from, what you saw. I
Hmm.
know in the Hispanic community, like relationships and being in relationships and being married, that's a big thing in a Hispanic, um, culture. But for
I think
myself
it's
and
a big
Katrina,
thing. I
it's
think it's a
it's
big
not.
thing in every culture. I think
It's
honestly, the
I don't
union
really
and
think
the
in
union.
the African American culture, I think it's very diverse when it comes to that. Like it's not, some people are for it. Some people I know some really good people. Like look at
Hmm.
Oprah and her man Stedman. African
Hmm.
American couple. Somebody that we can all look at and know for many years that they've been in a relationship and they're not married and
Right.
and it
But
works.
I think what it is, we have to get away from the the idea that that marriage license automatically changes everything, because you have people that are in a union. As long as you are in a relationship, in a union with someone, and you all have agreed that this is what you both are working on, this is what you both want, a
Goes back to
marriage.
being honest, but it goes back to being
Exactly.
honest because a
Exactly.
lot of people are getting married. Again, when it comes to our community, there are people, I know there are men who love their wives, but they're not ready for marriage.
And
But
if
they
you're
get
not ready,
married
please
for
don't
the
go into
support.
anything that you're not ready for,
Right,
because
but
it's
that's
so
what's happening.
hard.
It's obvious that's what's happening. If there are so many married men out there chasing, that's obvious. You knew you wasn't ready for marriage. You
But
knew
you
it.
know what? In all flips, because I know what we're saying, but in the flip side of that, you have so many women out there right now chasing to be married that they're willing to go ahead and create facades. It doesn't apply to everyone, but we cannot sit there and make it a one-sided argument,
I was
No,
because
asked to
for
get
every,
married.
no, it's
I
not a
was
you
one
asked
have
sided,
to.
twice.
huh?
I'm,
I was asked twice
okay,
to get married, and I declined both times because one, I wasn't ready, and I knew that the
absolutely.
relationship wasn't worth it. Like I knew it.
Okay, and that's but the
It's
fact
not
that you knew that,
sided. It's
that's
just that
great
we
because
are
you did it.
women speaking. It's definitely not one
No,
sided. But again, being honest, if
yeah,
the woman coming to him and saying that okay, she want to get married, whatever, the man has the right to say not right now. But
absolutely
I'm pretty sure there's a couple that are. I'm not saying all of them, but
right.
what it is both, like you said, on both areas. I don't want to look
It's
sound like we're man bashing. It's not that
right.
we're man
No,
bashing.
right, and
We're
that's what I
going
want.
on
Right.
experience. I can only speak from
Yeah.
experience. I know what come after me, and I can
Mm,
only tell you that if I had as many single men coming for me as married men, I'd probably be with somebody right about now.
listen,
So I'm only talking
listen.
from experience, but it's not a gender thing because it goes
Right.
both ways. Because women
Exactly.
aren't
And
ready either.
that's
And they
exactly
just
what it
want it
is.
because their friend is married or their cousin is married, their sister is married. They're
Yeah, and
not
it's
ready
like a
either.
pressure, but there's a pressure on women to get married that is not a pressure that is put on men. And there is an expectation that if you get married, right, and if you do it, then that means you are validated in society. Like we talk about, like, it's the Gilded Age, like we're in like the Gilded Age in the 1600s in Brooklyn, like we were, like, they have an HBO. I'm
Let's
sorry, the 1800s,
let
and
me
that's not the
both of y'all this
reality.
question. Let me
Go
ask both of
ahead.
y'all this question because I want your opinion
Look,
on it.
I'm sorry, I'm heated. I need my Reese's peanut butter cup. I need a snack. My blood
What's
sugar is
the
gone.
what's the what's the advantage of being in a relationship and not married? Let's say 10 years, you're in a 10-year relationship, not married. I know what I'm gonna say, but I want y'all opinion on that. So if you with a guy, or like if a man and woman's together for 10 years in a relationship,
Mhm.
not married, what's the
Mhm.
disadvantage?
There is none. I don't think.
I don't. I don't.
I don't
I
think that
honestly,
there's no disadvantage.
honestly, depending on the state that you're in, that's all you need to be legally recognized in
I
certain.
feel like
I'm just that.
So
That to me. That to me. I don't. I don't. I don't transcend. Time doesn't matter to me in regards to any disadvantages or advantages, because when you're in a relationship, for example, when my husband and I went on our first date, I knew what he wanted because he told me what he wanted. He told me exactly what was going to happen. He wanted a
wait,
family
but
and he wanted
before
that.
you get into that
Yeah,
story,
go ahead.
what's the disadvantage, Shiloh?
there is no disadvantage for being in a relationship for 10 years and not being married.
Think so.
There's no disadvantage to me. I feel like if marriage is something that each each individual feels in that 10-year relationship, then that's a conversation that should be had.
Right,
And if
That's it. I
yeah,
agree.
if you
right.
get married, you get married, but I don't think that documentation or that title really solidifies a relationship. I
Yeah.
feel like
100%.
if we
But
are
here's the crazy thing, because Priscilla said something about legal. So that's the only thing that I can honestly say
That's
that's an
it.
advantage, because it's if you're with someone, if you're not married, as we all know, if you're not married to that person who you've been with for 10 years and taking care of for 10 years, have been taking care of you, and if God forbid something happened to them, you don't have one say so.
Nothing.
That's disheartening.
Nothing.
That's
but that's not
heartbreaking.
That's
that's
the only thing. That's the
that's
only
not that's
disadvantage
not
that you
true.
have. That's
That's not true.
we know people that it happened. We work
In,
with someone that it
in the state
happened
of New
to.
Jersey, it is.
Yes.
There's
It's
no
Yes.
not.
common.
But
There's no common law.
if you are in a relationship and it is working and you guys discuss marriage or not, but if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I feel like this person has my best interests at heart, you can document things.
Oh
There's
yeah, yeah.
You
But I
can.
said,
Oh, you can. Let me
I
tell you
said
something,
legal.
Shiloh. Here's.
I said
Let me
legal.
tell you something,
I
Shiloh.
said
Here's the
legal.
thing. Legally,
I said
legally, you
legally.
could have a will and do whatever, but unless there was that legal tie between those two people, it is up to,
The
depending
family.
on who's alive, right?
The
If they
family.
had children,
oh well,
it goes to
yeah,
the
so,
kids. If
but
they
not
had their
marriage.
parents, if they did not have any children and their parents were still alive, their parents are now responsible for their estate. If
No,
they
Right.
that
have
I
kids,
know,
okay, right. So that's what we're saying.
That's no,
I'm
no.
saying
But
That's
that's
what
what
I'm
we're
not
saying.
saying.
married legal. It doesn't have to be a legal marriage for that person to be able to take over or take charge
No,
because
that's, but
Oh,
this is what I'm saying. When I said it depends on the state in that you're in, the
the
state in
state.
which you're
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Each state is different. The state of New Jersey does
Does
not
not.
recognize common
It
law
doesn't
marriage.
have
So
common
it
law
doesn't
marriage.
matter how many, you could be together for 50 years. And
It
if
doesn't
I am the
matter.
daughter of your
She
former
could come pull
partner,
that
I could
club
come and pull
person.
everything out of you.
Yeah.
Everything from you, and you have no. I can bar you from even coming to the funeral and say,
even if
"Don't
the
let that
person
person
has a
in."
will, a power of
Doesn't
attorney,
matter.
and all of
Doesn't
that,
matter. I'm the kin. You're not. I
The
can
will,
challenge that
the
will.
will
I
will
can
stick,
challenge it.
Shiloh. It's a difference. The will stick. Like if the husband has a will, or the wife has a will and said, I want this to go to this person, I want this to go to
Yeah.
that person. Yes, they're gonna get everything that's in that will. What we're saying is, if Mary is laying up in the hospital and her husband John, her boyfriend John is sitting right there
Her
by her
boyfriend of 25 years.
boyfriend for 25 years, and her son from God knows where, who never been in the picture, come up. John don't have no say so over Mary's life. The son does, because
but
John and
if
Mary
she
been
said
together 25 years.
Even
if
if
she
she left a will. Even if she
not
left a
but
will.
not a it doesn't have to be a will. It could be a
It
living will.
doesn't,
It could be a
it can
POA.
be any,
It could be
you
Well,
can
the legal
challenge it.
documents
You,
stick,
you
but
can
yes, the
challenge.
documents stick, but the say so in
And
the say
anything
so is
that
the
doesn't
say
happen.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
no that but I don't know because for instance I for instance, I was just listening to a lady who's a doctor, and she made her mother her POA, like not her mother, her mother-in-law, because she said that her husband and her mother wouldn't know or wouldn't make a rational decision on keeping her on life support or taking her off, but she knows that her mother-in-law would make the best decision.
And
And
that's
Okay.
sticks.
And
All
that's
right,
legal
six. And
documents
what
sticks.
happens
We're all
when the
saying the same
mother-in-law
thing, but different
dies?
ways.
When
Wait,
the
we're all
mother-in-law
saying the same
dies.
thing, but different ways. Any
Yeah.
legal document will stick, yes. But when I'm saying is the disadvantage of the marriage, all I was saying is that the marriage document gives the rights to that person who they're with. I understand, like all the if there's a will, there's a POA, whatever that is, that's legal documents. That's gonna override, yes. But who, our age, have most of that in place?
No one.
Legal documents, yes, that's my point. A legal document, whether it's your marriage license, a POA, a will, yes, you need that. So if you in a relationship for 25 years or 10 years, 99% of the time, they're not going to have that in place.
No.
So that's the
but
only answer I was
So
trying
like
to.
if they
think
were
about
smart, they
this.
would.
Right,
Okay, but
right,
sometimes it's not even about being smart, because sometimes it's if you don't know, you don't know.
right,
And you're not thinking like that because that's not something that necessarily you were taught or you have access to, right?
right.
The when you go to the doctors now, they start asking you, do you have a living will? Do you have
Yes.
a living will? You
And
hear
people
that at
don't even
every
know what that is.
doctor's
People just
appointment.
say
And some
no. They're
people
like, "Do
don't,
you
and people
want
are like,
one?"
no, they don't, and they don't
No.
know what
Yeah,
that means.
yeah,
That
yeah.
means they don't understand. Sorry.
People don't look. I know a lot of people who
Um,
don't know, who don't believe that they need a will. I know a lot of people don't even want to do a prenup. I don't care if you
yep.
have $1, you still should do a prenup. I don't care who you are. That's my opinion.
I'm
If
doing one
you
because I'm worth more dead than alive.
okay, that's
I'm
it.
I'm
That's it.
definitely doing one.
Yes, you need
I
a
mean,
will, and
that was another thing too. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, ah, marriage is like whatever, because I want my son to have all my money. And I don't want him to
put
have
that
to
in your
battle.
will.
Yeah, I don't
No,
want him to
you put
bat
that in your
I don't
will.
want him to battle a man or anybody else for my money because I want him to
You'd be
have it.
surprised, darling Shiloh. When you're gone, you'd be surprised who'll come after your 3 pennies. Anybody who wants
Oh,
anything
I've
from
seen
you,
it. I've seen it.
and yeah. Here's one thing that I love this conversation because I love having like dialogue with everybody and getting difference of opinions and things like that. And I what I love the most about this conversation is the fact that three Black women are having it, right? That we're having dialogues in different spaces of our lives, and that we're able to really come and give a lot of different perspectives from wherever we're at, but all still saying the same thing. And that is that in order for me to have what I want, I do for me, right? If I can do for me, and I do for me in such a way, anything that flows out of me is what everyone else can receive. And I think that right there, if we started operating like that more, Katrina and I have conversations all the time about, pouring out of an empty cup, and an empty cup does not pour anything, right? And so let everybody get the overflow of who you are. So that way, anything that overflows, you never lack because it overflows. And I think that's where the truth comes in, right? When you are telling yourself the truth, when you are living in your truth, and when you can admit that you're wrong, when you can say, you know what, I don't like this, I'm gonna set boundaries. But all of this stuff that we want outside, we gotta do internally. Because to me, that's the bottom line. I cannot ask my husband to be a good husband to me if I'm not a good person to me. And then in turn, that goodness, I want to put it out in every area of my life. So everything benefits. Because see, if I'm happy with myself, I can't be unhappy everywhere else because I want to keep that feeling going. And
So
that's how
that's
I
the so
change.
that's the so here's the lesson for today. Like you said, pour into you, right?
Hmm.
Any overflow can go to others,
Absolutely.
and make you priority. Get yourself together first before you try to go and get somebody else, right?
Absolutely.
And nobody got time for games.
No, man. Well, think about it. Well, think about it.
Those
The
are the
first
lessons of the day.
That's the
Those,
lesson. Don't Ain't nobody got time for that. What was that
we
lady's
ain't got
name?
time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. No. Hide your kids, hide your cars. Who else can we throw in there? We can throw
Right,
them all. We can throw them all.
right.
But listen, there's I have hope And I always pray that the people that are in my life get to experience the love that they deserve. And I know that both of you deserve to have the best kind of love that another person can support you with,
Okay.
because that is just going to be icing on the
Here's
cake,
the funny
right?
thing. Here's
And
the
I
funny
know that
thing. Here's the
it's
funny thing.
all great.
Here's the
I
funny
know
thing. Hey,
if you
Charlotte,
could
I'm about to
tell
speak for
if
both of us. I'm about
wait
to speak.
if you only but only if Priscilla could tell everybody how great of the icing on the cake we would be.
And let me tell you, girl, I'm going to tell you, going to find it on YouTube. Priscilla Sounds in the Middle of the Night. Okay, you're making me blush. Look at that. You're making me
Right.
blush. Listen, those,
Right.
look, there's nothing greater to me than seeing, from my experience, than seeing how far I've come when I let go of the idea that I has to be perfect, right? That I have to be the perfect wife, that I have to be the
No,
perfect mother, that I
no.
have to be, because there's nothing perfect about
I
me,
don't
right?
I
And
don't,
I'm
think
like,
I
but
don't
you
feel
know
that
what,
way.
we put pressure sometimes on ourselves
No, I
in certain
don't.
areas. Okay, well
Not
then
me.
I'm glad that you don't. I'm
Me,
glad that you
listen,
don't.
I'm
But
about to
there's,
say something to you that I
good.
know, because at this point, Shiloh or I don't really care. Like we don't.
Okay.
It's not pressing. It's not pressure. I know, like you saying, it's gonna come. We're gonna get what we
Yeah.
deserve because we deserve it at
Right.
some given point. It's just a matter of just being patient and waiting for it. But in the meantime, between time, Shiloh has put herself out there and see what was there. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that doesn't mean anything. That just helped her to
I mean,
understand
right.
what it is that she's not going to go for, what she's not going to deal with, and what she's not going to take. So that looking at those dating sites being up there has taught her, oh heck no, I ain't dealing with that. So when she goes to get her man that she's gonna get, she know what to look for, what not to look for, because it's gonna happen. And when it comes to me, like I said,
And
that talk.
I feel so good with self, and I love
Mm-hmm.
my peace more than life itself.
That's it.
That
That's
right
That's
then,
it. So then
but
that's all
so
that, because that's the energy you
right.
throw. The energy
So
that you throw out there is what you'll receive. So if
so
you're in that point
yes,
where peace is where it's at, peace is only gonna come for you.
right. So if I'm
not,
dating and I'm not
unfortunately not always, but when it's
But
when
you
it's
know.
right, it's gonna be right. Because again, we put out great energy all the time when
But
we
that's what
practice.
I mean. That's what it is.
At the end of the day, we're
That's
gonna
what it is.
get what we deserve.
Of course. And there's something to be said about when you find that peace of self, because that it's all encompassing with your peace. If you're at peace, then you have clarity to see what you want, what you don't want. The
yep,
problem is when you get that peace and you
yep,
actually start seeing what's out there, your eyes are like, "Oh Jesus, no." Like hide it.
no.
Hide the
But
kids, hide the
my
cars for real.
but we have such great peace that we could see straight through them. So the clarity is like the
It's
Yeah,
best
trans
diamond you can purchase
and it's
because
great.
I see right through these men and I'm like, okay, no, you're not for me. And then that's it. I'm done. Like, I don't even waste
Hmm.
time anymore. We don't need to chat any further. Like, there's too many boxes that you checked that was on the no, sir column.
Of,
And
and without having to waste the time to figure out what those
right,
no's are, when
right,
you get that no right away, because you got to get to a place where that starts happening immediately, right? You get to a point in your life where you don't have to wait for the lessons. It's like it almost happens
oh, they
instantaneously
tell
when you
you.
see,
Yeah.
when you start seeing that happen in your life. But it happens in all areas of your life. You
right. That's
notice it
true.
one specifically in one, because that's
Mhm.
probably the one that catches your attention. But when you start seeing that all of the things in your life that you didn't want to put up with in a relationship, you see all other relationships, your
But they
work
tell you first.
relationships, your
They tell
family
you first
relationships,
early on.
everything.
They
Everything. I
tell
mean,
they Men are the same. They show you very early on. It's just up to you to focus in and
Right.
not so desperate to want something,
That
but
you
not
tolerate.
see and not get, have an understanding and hear and see what you have in front of you. And I
Isn't that what they call the Lulu now? Like they like these women being so the Lulu. they
well that's
they see it and they just ignore it just because.
yeah, well,
mm,
I'm not I don't I am able to pick up on so much right off the bat, and I
Which
don't
is
even
good.
waste time any further to say like I want to keep going because I'm not at that point anymore. I'm not desperate to be with anybody. I'm okay with being by myself. Do I want love? Do I want a relationship? Absolutely. But I'm not going to settle for just whatever because it's
Vice
there in front
versa.
of us.
Vice
Like,
versa.
so I'm grateful for the experience that I've had. No one has done me wrong. I just know when wrong is being done. And so from that, I could just cancel it and not even have to deal with it any further.
That's
And
good, because that's
it's
because
on
that's what
to the
life
next.
has taught you. That's what all your experiences prior
Yep.
to have taught
Hmm.
you and got you to this space, which is awesome. Life is lessons to be learned, and it's up to us to learn them. Because some people
Yeah.
want to make the same mistakes over and over and over, but once we see it and we learn it, we're supposed to grow
That
from that.
that's how
Yeah.
I recently learned that I'm attracting the same people.
Because you
Like
had to look at yourself,
so now I got to figure out where do I need to go? What do I need to do to attract better people?
a
Because
better caliber
I
of
don't
people.
like who I'm attracting anymore. So I just want to be able
Because you're
to like
not that person anymore. You're not that same person you was 2, 3 years ago. You're different. You're grown.
And that's the thing about growth is that when you those are like the transparency goggles we get to put on, right? When you start accepting the good things for you by you, then anyone else, like if you come to me, you got to give me what I'm used to give. You got to give me what I'm used to, which is the patience, understanding, open-mindedness, and all of that.
Peace.
But also, right, peace. But because I don't want people in my life, if I'm not at chaos, why do I want chaos to come in? Why? I don't want that. That doesn't make
Right.
sense to me. It
Right.
doesn't make sense to me that if I don't have any financial issues, I'm gonna go ahead and be with somebody with financial issues so that they can go ahead. I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
And deplete you.
yeah, I don't want that.
My
Yeah.
humans came back. My little humans came back. They here. They here. But yeah, sorry about that. It's life be life, and sometimes, and learning that patience that I have to have with myself is how you translate that to other people. But there's there's this understanding that you get to have. Like I always talk about self, and I turn it back inside because it's what gives me the validation internally that whatever and whoever's in my life is exactly who needs to be in my life. When I started to set the boundaries with myself, like I know I don't want to have this person around. I don't want to go and do this with this person because I don't want to be around them. Every time I'm around them, their energy is like trash, or all they do is complain, or all they do is this, and everything is everybody else's fault. Like I those people right there, that's
Yeah.
draining.
Oh,
And sometimes, yeah, and sometimes
I've
we
been
put
got
up with that
those
from
type-
partners. Like, ugh. Like some people are willing to put up with that just to say
Mm-hmm.
that they got somebody.
Somebody.
Oh yeah, I
And I'm
think
like,
I
we
get
don't, I
off
don't,
like 35.
yeah, see,
I,
35 is a magical number, man. I wish more people would like realize
when
that by the time you hit 35, you start looking at people like, what is wrong with you? Where's your home training?
I
And then
used
by
to
the
go
time you're
visit, I used to
40,
go visit.
oh
Yeah, I
no.
used to visit people before their house and the curtains closed, and I'm like, open up these damn curtains, get some sunlight in here. Open the door, get some fresh air, open the window. Like they were so depressed and it drained the life out of me. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
And
but those are the people that you got to get away from if what you
yeah,
want is
oh,
peace. Because you got to
that's how
teach
it is.
them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
See,
I'm
to
not teaching. I'm not teaching nobody how to be to
mm-hmm.
no. Well, you don't have to actively go teach nobody how to treat you. You treat yourself a certain way. You set
oh
that
no,
boundary
me,
and say,
yeah,
this is the only way to get with me. This is how you got to be. And I'm okay, adjusting certain things, but only so that I can get to see if this person is worthy to be in my circle.
Right.
Because and I'm not saying to be in my inner circle, because that's only like a 5 people in my inner circle. And not everybody gets that deep.
Right.
But just to even have an exchange of stuff, I have to have something that I'm like, oh, okay, I could get down with this person. Okay, like, okay, and get to know them. And if it doesn't align with, if you're not adding value to my life in one way, shape, or form, I don't need you in my life. And that's no slight to anyone. It's just I don't have that kind of energy, nor do I want to expend that time.
And we
because
don't
time
have
is
to
the only
settle
thing.
for less. And you shouldn't
No,
take nothing less. You don't have
no,
to.
no, no, no. You don't have to settle for less. And that's the
Have
thing.
what you want in your life now.
What I always say is you also don't have to settle for less with you.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people, if we want to talk about, because I know we were talking about men and dating, and that's where a lot of men really need to understand, we don't want you to give me the whole world, just give me who you are. That you give me who are you, show me who you are, and then I'll tell you if it's something I can get down with or not. Don't show me who you pretend to be or who you want to be, but you're not really there, because that has to be sustainable.
Right.
You can't sustain a lie. You lying to yourself, you ain't lying to me. I could walk away. You can't walk away from you.
Goes back to being honest with you.
You can't walk away from you. How you gonna walk away from you and then blame everybody as the problem, but you're the one?
That's it.
That's it right there.
That's it. But ladies, this has been great. We gotta do this again soon.
Yes.
Next time we're gonna be live.
I think this is a good test run.
Yeah, so
So
I
is
give
think
this
it's
are
good.
you running this? Are you going to share this live or no?
Are you really? Oh, maybe we should not, and then perfect it a little bit.
it's nothing like authentic.
Is
That's
there an
true.
edit
That
So
is
feature
true.
on this app?
if it's one message you want to leave everyone before I stop recording, what would it be? Each one of you.
You want to go first, Priscilla?
I'll go first. Let me go first.
You go first. I'm still thinking.
Be honest with yourself. So
Um,
you're only fooling yourself if you're not going to be honest with you first.
yeah. I think for me the message is perspective is really everything in life, and understanding that, like I said earlier, sometimes really great people do some really shitty things, and some really shitty people can have really great moments where they step up to the plate. It may not look like what we want it to look like. Sometimes their absence is them stepping up to the plate because they just couldn't be there and they didn't know how to be there. And I know that we all have moments where, we can be the hero in someone's story and we can be the villain in another. And, I've accepting that is what, to me, perspective is all about.
For me, I'm gonna say just being honest and truthful and not waste people time, just time is everything. That's something we can't get back. And, just being honest and truthful, with, like you said, Katrina, yourself, but, with others too, because, it's everybody has their own time and nobody's time is to be wasted. Everybody, just love life, have fun, and, whatever.
So that's it. Don't take this moment for granted. It's tomorrow's not promised. Yep. Well,